journey for spiritual evolution. I'm so glad you're here. This channel is born from my love of Bible study. I love reading the Bible and dissecting it. It's a space where friends, family, and I will come together to explore the Word. Now, full transparency, I'm not a theologian. I did not go to school or get a degree in theology, so I'm just someone who is seeking to grow and learn more in my free time. Um, so if you have a different perspective or want to share something, I'd love for you to kindly add it in the comments below. Kindly, please add it in the comments. So I hope we can lead with love and embrace this journey together. Like I said, my goal is to evolve, and I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoy creating it. Now, I've also created Bible study journals to help guide your own journey. It's called Bible Study Workbook, so Sessions. So it has places for you to take your notes, places for you to illustrate as you are learning, and we have some thinking routines down here. So please, please, please buy this if you are wanting a good journal to go along. Okay, I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks for watching. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for another episode of Soul Sessions. We hope you have your book to follow along with us too, or your notes that you have taken for Mariam. So today I have with me my lovely grandma, Deborah.
Hello, everyone.
All right, and so we decided to study Mariam. What did you think overall about Mariam?
Kind of mixed, mixed emotions with her. Like I know when we looked at, well, we're not at that, when we got into chapter 12, is when the Lord punishes her.
Oh, yeah. We're going to definitely get into that because I definitely have some notes for that too.
Yeah, I did too. But it doesn't really speak much about her in the beginning, other than, she's Moses' sister. And when we get into chapter 2, where she goes and gets her mother, because Pharaoh's daughter wanted her mother to, nurse the baby. But other than that, we didn't hear much about her in chapter 2. What were your thoughts?
Let's see. Well, overall, I thought just overall that Mariam was, she was bold and she was opinionated, I think overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so when we start here, we said we were going to look at Numbers chapters 12 verses 1 through 16. And I always like to start with looking at where the story takes place. So I have here a little map that shows where Egypt is to Sudan to Ethiopia, because all those places come up along the oh wait, we went ahead a little bit. Sorry, all those places come along. So here is Egypt at the top, and
Right.
that's where we're introduced. Sorry, we're starting at Exodus chapter 2. Yeah, that's where we started. Exodus chapter 2 and chapter 15, because she comes up in a lot of different parts. So she's Moses' sister.
Right.
And she has the courage, guts, and the braveness to go up and talk to the king's daughter. And I was wondering, how did she just get to approach the king's daughter?
Well, wasn't it says here his sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her slave girl to get it. So she opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. This is one of the Hebrew babies, she said. And that's when the sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, should I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how does she even have access to Pharaoh's daughter to just
Right, right.
up talking to her? I thought that was kind of either really brave and courageous, like she shouldn't have been able to do that, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just crazy to me that she was able to just walk up to her and be like, "Hey, I got this lady, this Hebrew woman who can take care of the baby for you."
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was bold on her part to, approach the daughter in the way that she did.
Yeah. Um, so then we know that her mom was paid to take care of Moses, which is really interesting too. It's like she wanted to do this regardless whether you paid her or not. So now she gets
Right.
to get paid um, for taking care of her son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then the next time we see Miriam is chapter 15, verse 20.
Yeah, let me get there. 15. Yeah, 15. Um,
And I have it on the screen here. I don't know if you can see it.
yeah, it's kind of small.
Miriam, the sister of Aaron, was a prophet. So she took her tambourine and led the other women out to play their tambourines and to dance. So um, this is when they were able to leave Egypt, right? And she's
Yes.
singing, she's happy. So we see another side of Miriam here, just really happy, really thankful, and leading others into being thankful.
Yeah, because she's really, singing praises to the Lord. She's really, really into, praising the Lord and have others, follow her, and she's leading them in like this type of worship, to the Lord.
And then I looked up the word prophet just to see what the definition is, and it says a prophet is a teacher or a proclaimer of the will of God.
Mm-hmm.
So that was her role. Uh,
Right.
that was really cool as well. So we see that she likes to either teach people or she likes to tell people about God, and we see that she's also a leader.
Right. She's a leader. Yeah. Yeah. And the people are, they're following her. They're, singing and praising the Lord with her.
Then we go
Dancing
to
and singing.
Numbers chapter 12.
Yeah.
That's the next time we see her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so verse 1 through 3. So it says, although Moses was the most humble person in all the world, Miriam and Aaron started complaining. Moses had no right to marry that woman from Ethiopia. Who does he think he is? The Lord has spoken to us, not just to him. So I
Mm-hmm.
have a picture of the map there from where Egypt is to where Ethiopia is. But in the King James version, they say Cush, which is where Ethiopia is and Sudan is today. So
Mm-hmm.
um, what do you think about that? Why do you think they were upset at who he chose to marry?
They said she was Cushite. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure why they objected or had such strong opinions, because it says Cushite, it's an adjective in the Africans from the land of Cush. Did we see Cush on does that come up on your map? It's kind of small. I can't
That's what
really.
I was just saying. Cush is where Ethiopia and Sudan is today.
Hmm. I'm not sure why they felt so strongly against her.
The only thing I could think of is because maybe it was a different religion. So maybe they didn't believe, like Moses' wife didn't believe in the same God.
That's possible.
Um, but uh and then they said, who does he think he is? The Lord has spoken to us, not just to him.
Hmm.
So first they're upset about who he marries, and then they're saying like, and we know just as much as you because the Lord spoke to us too. So we,
Hmm.
I'm like, jealousy
Oh yeah, most definitely.
coming up in them,
Mhm.
which, um, I think is understandable because people can see their siblings sometimes doing better than them, or, you know, um, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't be jealous of people,
But that
especially of your siblings.
mhm. But
Um,
that does happen. Unfortunately, it does happen, sometimes um, you know, children may feel that their parents may favor one child over another child, or is giving a child more attention. And I think that's kind of what they felt, possibly, is that maybe the Lord had a closer relationship with Moses than what they had with them. Even though she's saying, that the Lord has spoken to us too. Not only has he spoken to Moses, but he has also spoken to us too. But then, the Lord breaks it down. As we get further into the chapter, the Lord breaks down the relationship that he had with Moses, and how he was against them talking, against him.
yeah. And I love the easy to read version, so I'm going to read that as you said that.
Mhm,
Okay, so the easy to read version says, God said, "Listen to me. You will have prophets. I, the Lord, will let them learn about me through visions. I will speak to them in dreams." But Moses is not
mhm,
like that. He is my faithful servant. I trust him with everyone in my house. When I speak to him, I talk face to face with him. I don't use stories with hidden meanings. I show him clearly what I want him to know. And Moses can
mhm,
look at the very image of the Lord. So why were you brave enough to speak against my servant Moses?
mhm.
So God heard Moses and Mariam, and he tells Aaron and Mariam to come closer, and then that's what he says to them, like, "Hey, yeah, I talked to y'all, but I talked to y'all through vision,
Right.
dreams.
Uh-huh.
Moses
Mhm,
has a closer relationship with me. So why do you feel like you have the right to criticize Moses?" Which
mhm.
I feel like they were seeing Moses as their brother and not as who he was with God, like their relationship. Like you said, he had a different relationship with God. And so
Right.
I don't think they could recognize,
Mhm.
like, yeah, he's your brother, but he's kind of at a higher position than y'all.
Right. Because he's saying that, like when he's speaking to Marin and Aaron, it's like he comes to them through visions or dreams, but in Moses it's more of a closer, like face to face relationship.
Hmm.
So do you feel that, I think after he spoke this to them, that Marion and Aaron did not realize the relationship that Moses had with the Lord? What do you think? Do you think they realized the relationship, or they thought he was on the same level of the Lord as they were, but
Yeah, I think
truly
they
he
thought they
wasn't?
were. I think they thought they were on the same level. I really do.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I break it down for to them like, we not on this. Y'all not on the same
Yeah.
level.
Exactly. Yeah.
The same. So let's see what happens next. So the cloud rose from the tent. Aaron turned. So the cloud goes away. Aaron turned,
Hmm.
and when he turned, he saw Miriam, and he saw her skin was white like snow. She had a terrible
Yeah.
skin disease. Then
Hmm.
he said to Moses, "Please, sir, forgive us for the foolish sin that we did. Don't let her lose her skin like a baby who is born dead. Sometimes a
Hmm.
baby will be born like that, with half of its skin eaten away." And so in the King James version, though, they say she has leprosy,
Right.
which I looked up leprosy and what it looks like today because people still get it today. It's a skin
Yep.
disease. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so, what do you think about this whole part of God giving
Well, I
Marion
was,
the skin disease?
yeah, it was like, well, it's like Aaron didn't get a punishment, but Marion did.
Yeah, that's the same thing I wrote down. Why did
Yeah.
she get the disease and not both?
Yeah, that's kind of
Do
I
you
don't know.
think
It's like
if we go back, do you think let me see.
maybe it was Marion more, but it doesn't say that because it says Marion and Aaron begin to talk against Moses. So
Yeah.
they both begin to talk. So was Marion more boisterous than Aaron? Did Marion have more to say? It doesn't tell us if Marion had more to say than Aaron. We don't know. It
I like to
doesn't
think
tell
of it
us that.
like God knows your heart. So maybe
Oh,
maybe
good point.
Miriam's heart was really not in the right place, but maybe Aaron was just like going along with what Miriam's saying, but maybe Miriam was the one that really had that jealousy in her heart.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
possible.
thinking. Because
Yeah.
I did wonder that too. Why
Hmm.
she get the leprosy?
And he didn't. It was like he didn't receive um, a punishment, but it says that, well, Aaron is pleading, on her behalf. Please, my Lord, do not hold against us the sin we have so foolishly committed. Do not let her be, like you said, do not let her be like a stillborn. It's like he's pleading for her. And as far as who I'm not sure who was the oldest. Was Marion older than Aaron? Does it tell us that, or do we know that anywhere in the?
Let me see if I can find the answer. Mm,
Because like if Marion, how sometimes if you're, well, we know they're both older than Moses because Moses came after. Um, but you know how sometimes with siblings, how sometimes the older sibling kind of rules, you kind of follow what your
Yeah,
older
I think
sibling.
Miriam was the oldest, then Aaron, then Moses.
Okay. So that could be maybe Aaron was, you know, agreeing with whatever she said, since she was older.
The older sister, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was, like following whatever she said or whatever she did. Hold on for a second, Monisha. I got to step away for a second.
Okay. Yeah, so
Hold on.
no, I'm just talking. So if you're all following along, hopefully you have the book that we have where you can take notes in your soul session guide and you can ask questions, ideas. It's a place for summary, it's a place for you to draw a picture, it's a place for you to make a color symbol and image that goes with what topic you're thinking about. It's a place for new vocabulary words that you find when you're reading, which I have prophet and leprosy. And it might not be a new word, but maybe a word that you've heard a lot and that you need some review on. So yeah, I've heard about a prophet a lot, but I wanted the actual definition. I've heard of leprosy, but I wanted to look it up, look what it looked like, and if people still had it today, which they do. And then as you read, some people like to draw, so you can illustrate a picture right there.
Okay,
And so
I'm
that's
back. Sorry.
okay. So um, I just had a little definition here of leprosy that I got from the World Health Organization, just talking more about how people who have this um, leprosy face stigmatization and discrimination.
Oh,
People
yeah.
still get leprosy. The disease is transmitted through droplets from the nose and the mouth. But we know from this story that she was given the disease by God.
Right.
Uh, so then Moses praised in verse 13, Lord God, please heal her. But the Lord replied, Miriam will be disgraced for 7 days if her father had punished her by spitting in her face. So make her stay outside the camp for 7 days before coming back. People of Israel did not move their camp until Mariam returned 7 days later. Then they left Hazareth and came up camp in the Paran desert.
Hmm.
Hey,
So
how do you feel about her punishment?
I thought the punishment was harsh um, for her. But of course, we cannot judge what the Lord dictates. That's what the Lord felt that, her punishment should be. And, fortunate her punishment was for 7 days. It wasn't like she was punished, for a longer period of time. Her punishment was for 7 days. I was When I read, if her father, in 14, the Lord replied to Moses, if her father had spit in her face, would she not have been in disgrace for 7 days? So, what do you feel about that? I was
Yeah,
kind
he's
of,
saying like I'm her heavenly father, and her earthly father, if she would have disgraced her earthly father, he would have spit in her face, and she would have had been sent away for 7 days. So he's saying like, I think he's saying like that's the same thing I'm gonna do. Like
oh, okay.
Earth, she if she disgraced her family, she'd be gone for 7 days. My
Hmm.
punishment is the same. She's gonna be gone for 7 days and come back.
Okay, so he's given her the same thing that she would have gotten from her father. He's given the same amount of time of punishment on her.
I
So,
think so. That's what I was thinking.
mhm.
That meant.
And lucky for her, it was only for 7 days. It wasn't for, like, a year, or you're gonna have this, from here till the end. You're gonna be in leprosy from here to the end.
Mhm.
It was only for 7 days. And as it said, the people did not move on until she was brought back. So they
Yeah.
waited for her. So, and I think that she had a good heart, um, but she was not. Her and her brother just was not aware of the situation, or the relationship that the Lord had with Moses. They had no idea of the relationship. So I think that's what brought about the jealousy, because they didn't know. They didn't know the relationship that he had.
Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they. I just feel like they thought that, or she thought that Moses was kind of doing whatever he wanted to do, like marrying people from different religions and doing what he wanted to do. And she was like, "Hey, we talked to God too." Um, so yeah, I don't think they thought like, no, Moses has a direct line with God.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
so what do you feel like you can learn from Mariam? Some things I put on here is we can learn bravery, because when she was a young girl, she was very brave.
Hmm.
I put forgiveness. Um, she had to learn to forgive, probably forgive herself for the thing that she was thinking about.
Hmm.
And we could also see God's forgiveness with how he
Oh,
dealt
most
with
definitely. Hmm.
her. Faithfulness, because she was faithful to her family and God. And then her story also teaches us to be humble, like
Hmm.
not not to think that we're the best or that we know everything, but be humble.
Right, right. Be humble. Don't think that you know everything, just because you don't see everything.
Hmm.
So therefore, you're not going to know everything. So yeah, you have to humble yourself. And she was faithful, because when we talk about her in the beginning, how she's playing the tambourine, how she's leading the people in song, how she's singing praises to the Lord. So somewhere down the line, she kind of forgot some of that when her and her brothers started to speak against Moses. They weren't thinking about um, you know, the relationship that Moses and the Lord had. That wasn't on their mind. They could only see what was in front of them. They couldn't see beyond
Hmm.
what their relationship with God was. They couldn't see the relationship that the Lord had with Moses until the Lord spoke to them. Then they knew.
Yep.
you know. Yeah.
So Did you, for in your book, did you have any new words that you learned or that you wanted to review
Um,
reading,
the
or did,
only thing that I had was the Kushite. I had looked that up, the Kushite people, and I think I said that earlier, Africans from the land of Kush. I looked that up.
Mhm.
And then when I was thinking of papyrus, when they talked about that, the stem of a water plant, and that's also used for writing and painting. But I guess when I was thinking about papyrus, I was thinking about, isn't there a fruit?
Oh no, that's papaya.
Oh, okay.
First,
I was getting
yeah,
that a little confused.
yeah. When I
Yeah.
taught ancient civilizations, I learned about the papyrus tree, and
Uh-huh.
that's how they started making paper, papyrus.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I used for writing and for painting. So yeah, those were the two words that I had wrote.
Okay, now let's go to the symbol. When thinking about Mariam, what symbol came to mind?
I didn't really have a symbol, but what I wrote was like when I thought of the white cloud, like God appearing, before the
Mhm.
white cloud or in the white cloud. That's what I had wrote. What about you for a symbol?
I have put a microphone,
Hmm.
and I was thinking about just like how she used her voice. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so I put that. What about a word? Is there a word that you think of when you think of Miriam?
I thought of mercy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mercy, yeah, that's what came to mind.
That's really good.
Hmm. What about you
My
for a
word was
word?
protector.
Oh, okay, that's a good
In
one.
the beginning, she was really trying to protect her family, protect her brother.
Hmm.
And what color did you pick when you think of Miriam overall?
I put white.
Oh, that's a good color. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, especially associated that with the white cloud. Um,
And
that's
her
what came.
leprosy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what came to mind.
for me, I don't know why when I was reading it, I just kept seeing red. But
Hmm.
um, I don't know why I picked red, but I kept seeing red reading her story. And I don't know if that's
Uh-huh.
because like the danger she faced, talking to the Pharaoh's daughter, or how she was jealous of her brother, and then how she got the
Hmm.
disease. Um, but overall, like, and I think of red too as a strong color.
Yeah.
But even though she had those things happen to her, she was still a strong woman.
Hmm.
So it's like she was bold. She had things happen, but she still ended up being a strong woman.
Yeah, and we talk about her being brave, when we talk about her and Pharaoh's daughter, that was bold because, a lot of things could have happened there, could have went the wrong way, her even approaching, the daughter. So yeah, she was brave, definitely.
Right. So that was our Bible study on Miriam. I hope
Yeah.
you guys enjoyed it and learned something new as you listen to Miriam. And I hope you come back for our next episode. Thanks for
Yes.
watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, so I hope you enjoyed listening to my grandmother and I discuss Miriam. So, my instant classic of the week is House of Miracles by Brandon Lake. I love this song and I know you will too. All right, see you next time.